What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mama Knows Best, Sorta, episode 38. We're 38 episodes in, and my mother changed her hairstyle to a croissant rolling off her head. Let me repeat that again. My mother has a croissant on the side of her face. She looks so stupid. She looks so ridiculous. And she looks so modern. Yeah, and you guys know how I feel about their modern woman. I'm so sick of Gayle King. I'm sick of Oprah Winfrey. I'm sick of Michelle Obama. And I'm sick of Mama. And I'm sick of all modern women out there. Mama, do you got anything to say for episode 38?
No, I'm ready to bring the smoke because I don't even understand why we even having this conversation. So I'm ready.
Can you address the croissant rolling from the side of your face? I mean, we got Rez. I need you to put Rez. I pay you a lot of money. Okay, we pay you a lot of money every month, so I need the croissant to pop up. Okay, on Mama, and do a side by side of Mama next to a croissant, so we can just talk about it. Call me what you want, but y'all know what it is. We're gonna get into this topic based off the thumbnail, the title. We're gonna be talking about vulnerability with women in a relationship. You know me, man. I'm a tough guy. What we even talking about? Okay, but we got a special guest. I got my big brother Erik coming up here, and before I bring him up on here, man,
hold on, make sure he's not. He ain't that ninja Erik. That nigga Erik. He's Erik number 3. Make sure you make the distinguish. Okay.
Right. It's not my mother's Erik. I mean, I can't stand that nigga Erik. This is the real Erik. Okay, this is the Erik that showed me. This is the Erik that showed me love. The first dude to take me up under his wing at ESPN and introduce me to about 500 people in Hartford. So I don't even like your Erik. I like this Erik. Okay, so let's bring my big brother Erik up here. And hold on. First of all, don't get too excited. I'm gonna give you the rules and regulations to my podcast.
First of all, no. Come for your mama like that.
Okay, you've been muted. You so goddamn disrespectful, you modern man. Okay, I'm gonna unmute you, but I'm gonna give you the rules and regulations of this podcast. This is my platform. I know it says Mama Knows Best, sorta, but truly, I'm the executive producer. I'm the person who calls all the shots. So you speak when spoken to. You don't interrupt me. Now, if you want to interrupt that croissant over there, you interrupt the croissant. But you don't interrupt me. Do you understand, Erik Threet the third?
This is where you sip on them. This is where you sip on
them. I have a couple things. One, thank you all for having me. I'm very excited to be here. 2, you need to simmer your ass down. That vein is popping out your forehead. That is not healthy. And 3, Mama, you look good. Don't let him come for your little blend. I see the blend with the loose curl. Come on now. You express yourself. You look good. The skin popping. Watch your mouth, C-Mac.
Hey, well, we know the Eriks all across the country love Mama. We know the Eriks love Mama. Okay, we got 2 Eriks now that are defenders of Mama. Okay.
I look forward to meeting the other Eriks.
Yeah.
Erik with a K's as well?
No, with a C. With a C.
They can have a little more flavor, but
we do gotta give you a proper introduction. This is my big brother, and like I said, I gotta reiterate, this is the first person at ESPN to take me up under their wing. Him along with Cordell, man, really made that transition very, very easy in the midst of working up here and living in Connecticut, which Erik, it's not easy. But this is my big brother, forever indebted to him. But we're done with all that sensitive talk. We know what we're talking about. We're talking about vulnerability. We're talking about vulnerability within relationships. So Erik Threet the third, okay, the mama defender. I'm going to give you the first question.
Okay.
Should a man be vulnerable with his woman?
Yes, absolutely. I feel as though it could be a maybe not, depending on your partner and if they can receive what you are bringing. But absolutely, you should be vulnerable because it helps you better understand yourself. You don't know if you don't know something, you don't know a particular emotion you're going to dive into unless you talk about it. A lot of things can catch you off guard. You would want to be the best possible version of yourself. I feel as though the best way to do that is to be vulnerable, to open yourself up to something that is new. For example, like me growing up, I grew up with a single mother. I see my dad probably 2 or 3 times a year. I stayed with him a couple of summers, but I had a conversation with one of my homegirls, and I was telling her about like he would pop in, take us to dinner, and then pop out, and how it made me feel. And I just like started crying, like just out of nowhere. I had no idea that affected me in that way, but that sends me on a completely different path to understand why does this touch me like that? Why do I need to dive into that? Can I be better from it? is it something that's going to affect me going forward? You know, so I feel like it's very important to be vulnerable, mostly just because of yourself, not necessarily from being soft. You just want to be the best version of you.
I mean, God dang it, I'm so good at it.
Damn, I set you up already.
God,
First question, that's crazy.
That might be one of the best answers we didn't had on in a minute.
You gonna throw me the ball?
I got to. I got to let you respond to that. I mean, that was awesome.
Get him, mama.
Well, let me start off by saying it's one of them dumb nigga questions again. I don't even know why that was even the first question. Like, should a man be vulnerable with his woman? Of course, you should be vulnerable with your woman. As a woman, you don't want to go be laying up with a brick house, nobody who can't show emotions, who is not emotionally intelligent. So for me, I would say the two biggest things that I see in the Black community that men can work on, specifically in a romantic relationship, is be afraid to not always have the answers. You know, sometimes Black men, y'all working for ESPN, y'all doing the thing, y'all educated, but it's okay to be like, your woman comes to you with a problem, with an issue, or just something in life. And you like, you know what? I don't have a plan right now, but guess what? I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to go talk to somebody to get the answers. And then secondly, being okay to apologize, even when you're not right. Because what do you want? You want to be right. Sometimes smart, educated men, they always want, they will put right over peace. You understand what I'm saying? So I think those are two examples that I feel specifically Black men can show up better in being vulnerable at. All right, I'm passing it back to you, Christian, because I know you're going to try to chop it up.
I mean, 6 minutes into this episode, all of my viewers have fell asleep. all of my viewers have went from watching Mama Knows Best Sorta to watching actually Erik Threet's and Cordell's reaction video. Okay, shout out their reaction video. Matter of fact, can we shout out your page real quick, Threet? Can you plug that?
We got Outspoken Reacts. We watch a bunch of programs, react to them. We have a great time. You can come react with us as well.
All of my viewers and Mama Knows Best Sorta has went to reacts. Okay. And so let me give some wisdom real quick. First of all, should a man be vulnerable with his woman? No. Right. And I'm gonna say no, because one thing I've learned about women, I'm going to attack the Black woman. I'm going to go full. Excuse me, First Lady. Okay, Bree, I need you to fall back. Okay, Miss Bria, who's ear hustling. I'm going to attack the Black woman. One thing I've learned about Black women is when you be vulnerable and you open up, they use that and weaponize it against you down the line. I don't think Black women know how to be there for the Black man. I don't know if Black women know how to support the Black man. Yes, you want us to be open and be vulnerable. Yes, that's great, right? But then if we're open and we're vulnerable, how do you perceive that? How do you then support us? Do you weaponize us for those weak moments, right? Do you know how to, when I'm taking the Superman cape off of me, do you know how to, okay, clean that cape off and then reattach it to us? And what I've noticed with Black women, it's more of a weaponization when you're weak instead of supporting you when you're weak.
Seeing the person who had maybe three relationships in their entire life, I don't even think you hit 25 yet. So how are you able to spit wisdom on what a Black woman could do? Okay?
I just did. I talked.
With
Three, I'm gonna let you get the last one on that real quick. If we go to the second question, go ahead, Three.
So my thing is, I feel like that's the person. Like, I don't think that has anything to do with a particular even age range group. That is a whole bunch of other foundational things.
Stop it, highlighter, because camera podcast looking like a whole bunch of colors. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Yes, I'm not even attacking a particular person, because in my own personal life, I finally have met someone in destiny that does embody that. But if I take and survey all the Black women that I know, right? It's like 1 out of like 15 that know how to really support a man emotionally and pursue a man emotionally. So three, how many women, be honest, how many women do you know more women that don't know how to support compared to do know how to support their man in a relationship?
So I think that's the wrong question. I feel like it's the ones who are in a relationship, not all women, because not all women want to be in a relationship, want to build with somebody, want to hear that, receive that, and try and work toward a common solution. I feel like if that is the goal, if you're in a relationship and you build them together, then that is less likely of an issue. Because again, if you want to be with this person for however long, you're going to have to at some point. So you might as well just go ahead and figure out if that's going to be the person that you can be vulnerable with and you can build with.
You're calling BS on vulnerability. You're calling BS on women, black women not supporting their men in a relationship. So, Mama, I'm gonna go to you.
But where you gonna go to? The snow bunnies who are killing and suing and what are we doing here?
Excuse me. This is why I'm the executive. See, Threet, you're getting the inside look on why I'm the executive producer and she's just talent. Okay, and I'm going to need your portion on first to pay Rez. Okay, I'm the executive producer. You're the talent, and you're part of the pay. So let's go to question number 2.
I've already been muted, so I'm not going to step across my line.
You better not. Okay, we're going to go to question number 2.
Now you don't mute your mama. That's smart on your part.
That's right.
We gonna go to question number 2. So, Mama, how can a man show vulnerability within a relationship? Then.
Well, I gave the 2 examples already. Like I said, being willing to admit when you're wrong, not having all the answers, supporting her, loving her. It's not like you talking about being a Superman. We don't need you to show up with a cape on all the time. We got this. We know how to save ourselves.
You sound straight like a model woman. I'm so sick of that. You sound just like you sound like an off-brand Michelle Obama right now. And I'm stepping in and say today, okay, I'm putting my cape on. First of all, I don't agree with what you're saying, and it bothers me because I'm always hearing a woman say, "Pursue us, love us," but why am I never hearing a woman say, "How can I love my man? How am I emotionally pursuing my man?" In the black culture, right, and then just relationship culture, I don't hear enough of women saying, "How am I pursuing my man? How am I living my man emotionally?" Right? What am I doing to connect and put interest in him? We've been taught for so long in society, for generations, that we have to put interest into what our woman like. We have to love our woman. We have to pursue our woman. When is it going to be on the woman to pursue the man and to emotionally connect with their man?
See, you're the biggest
Stop with that rhetoric.
Hold on, you're the biggest hypocrite I know. Because let me pay for a dinner, do something. You doing what? What you doing? But when we talked about, was that Kugler, the sinner's wife, and the story that went around that she invested $300 in his career. And you like, where the woman at like that? So you say you want a woman like that, but then and you like, as a man, well, I can't let you pay for my dinner. I try to pay for your dinner, I get told off. So when I try to pour into you, you reject it. So
I'm not in a relationship with my mama.
You're not in a relationship with
I'm not in a relationship with mama. So I'm gonna let Threet get in here. We can't dominate our guests. I gotta let Threet come in here and give his smoke.
That's very selfless of you. I appreciate that. I think what a lot of the issue is that humans are innately selfish, right? We thinking about us. We're thinking about how we react to certain things. And a lot of times we will assume that somebody will react like that because we react like that. When it comes to being honest with where you're coming from, you're not always going to get the answer right. Like you said, Mama, you have to work through certain things and trust that your partner will accept what you're bringing. If it doesn't work for them, it don't work for them. And if you can understand why, you know what I'm saying, you can work toward why it doesn't work or why you need to find that answer, then so be it. I feel like it all is in an effort to make yourself better at the end of the day. So if you're honest with yourself and you're comfortable with yourself and you continue to grow in that comfort, I feel as though it won't be an issue. It would be more of an issue with that person rather than this topic, if you will.
Yeah, you can say this person, you can say that topic, but I'm gonna put the pressure back on women, and I'm gonna keep talking about, in particular, the black woman. I don't think the black woman really understands and values the black man. We keep there's this saying, niggas ain't this, niggas ain't that, and I don't think that a black woman really truly understands the responsibilities, the pressure, right? Everything that's tasked on being a man, right? Every time that I go to my counsel and talk to them about certain things that's going on in my relationship, which is rare, it happens every once in a while, the feedback that I get is, okay, you need to improve. And I agree on that feedback, right? It's what can you do better, right? What else can you make sure that you provide a safe space for your woman? And that is dope advice, and I'm never going to say that's wrong. But I just wonder, when a woman goes to her counsel, are they getting counsel on valuing a man, understanding his responsibilities, understanding what he's fighting through and what he's tasked to do? And I have to be on this podcast, and I know that for some people I've lost their ear, but you have to truly understand what a man goes through on a day-to-day basis and value that. And if you value a man, you understand what he's going through, then at some point he will be vulnerable. But if you miss certain steps of just understanding and valuing him, you would never get a man to truly be vulnerable.
There's some credence to that. Go ahead, Mama. I'll circle back to you. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say something real quick, and I'm going to throw it to you. See, that's your problem. You two focused on what counsel she's getting. If two of you are in a relationship and your goal is to please her and her goal is to please you, where you two are fighting to out please each other, that's the dynamic of a relationship. But you too busy trying to look over and see what they're talking about. That's your problem. Go ahead, Erik.
There's so much context that could be involved with whatever situation that you're in. And it always, like, I always look inward, and maybe that's a me thing, but you are right, because we are we're raised to be leaders, to be heads of households, to make sure that we are prepared. We're being prepared differently, men and women, for the world. And we know this. And there is an imbalance in that treatment, because we are taught to be providers. We want to be providers. It's in our nature. So that, in essence, will already throw off said balance. It's important to still bring yourself to the table, honestly, because again, it is just making you better. Mm-hmm. And if that's not going to be your person, that's not going to be your person. That's kind of where I'm at. But you're right. There are a lot of issues that, if somebody pokes a nerve early, you're not going to want to circle back and open up again, because why would I put myself in this position to be upset, and then I'm going to be the problem later on when I'm acting in this way, right? There are many issues like that. You're not at all wrong. You're 100%
absolutely, and I think that's both.
Mama, this is the last word, so please keep it brief and land your plane.
Okay, no, that's it. Listen, I get, so basically what you kind of spoke on, Erik, was safety. You want to be safe with your partner. So if you open up to them and then they, as Christians, weaponize it, you're not going to be as open to share again. So I get that. And I just think that is not a lack of a Black woman thing. It's a maturity thing. So,
well, I want to be vulnerable in this moment. This
you about to cry?
No, stop it. This podcast was dope, but my vulnerability is I'm so sick of Mama. I'm looking for a replacement. I don't really like Erik Threet. That's all I gotta say. Bye.